Welcome to Wellness Within USA Herb. In this journey, we'll uncover the hidden power of emotional intelligence, EQ. Imagine being able to decode emotions, yours and others, like secret messages. The suspense lies in realizing that EQ is not just about being nice, it's about mastering emotions to create resilience, empathy, and influence. This video will guide you step by step into understanding and managing emotions, transforming the way you live, love, and lead. Seedling Introduction. Imagine walking into a room where tension is thick. People are frustrated, voices are raised, and emotions are running wild. Yet one person remains calm, listens deeply, and responds with clarity. That person isn't just lucky, they are practicing emotional intelligence, EQ. Emotional intelligence is the hidden skill that determines success in relationships, workplaces, and personal growth. It's not about IQ or technical knowledge, it's about understanding emotions, yours and others, and managing them wisely. The suspense lies in realizing that EQ might be the missing key to resilience, empathy, and influence. Detective: Why emotions matter. We often think of emotions as distractions. But science reveals they are powerful signals guiding decisions, relationships, and health. Thrill element: emotions are like secret codes. If you learn to decode them, you unlock hidden strengths. Science: studies show people with high EQ perform better at work, have stronger relationships, and report higher happiness. Magnifying glass tilted right. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions in yourself and others. Self-awareness: knowing what you feel and why. Self-regulation: managing impulses and reactions. Empathy: understanding others' emotions. Social skills: building healthy relationships. Motivation: using emotions to drive positive action. Suspense builds when you realize EQ isn't fixed, it can be developed like a muscle. Brain: the science behind EQ. Brain connection: the amygdala, emotion center, and prefrontal cortex, decision-making, work together. EQ strengthens this link. Stress management: high EQ reduces cortisol, helping you stay calm under pressure. Resilience: EQ rewires the brain to recover faster from setbacks. Research insight: Harvard studies show leaders with high EQ are 70% more effective than those with high IQ alone. Performing arts. Suspense element: the hidden enemy. The hidden enemy of EQ is emotional blindness, ignoring or suppressing feelings. Imagine a storm brewing inside but pretending it doesn't exist. The thrill lies in realizing that facing emotions, not hiding them, is the path to strength. Open book case example. Consider Sarah, a project manager. Deadlines made her team anxious, conflicts erupted, and productivity dropped. By practicing EQ, listening empathetically, acknowledging emotions, and responding calmly, she transformed chaos into collaboration. Her team not only met deadlines but grew stronger together. Hammer and wrench. First steps to emotional intelligence. Pause before reacting. When emotions rise, take a breath before responding. Name the emotion. Labeling feelings reduces their intensity. Empathy practice: listen without interrupting, imagine yourself in the other person's shoes. Reflect daily, journal about emotional triggers and responses. Suspense builds as you notice small shifts, arguments turn into conversations, stress turns into clarity. Globe with meridians. Why beginners struggle. Beginners often confuse EQ with being nice. But EQ is deeper, it's about authenticity, not politeness. The thrill lies in realizing EQ makes you stronger, not weaker. Pausing before reacting. Emotions rise quickly: anger, frustration, excitement. The first step in EQ mastery is learning to pause. Practice: when triggered, take a deep breath before responding. Suspense element: at first, silence feels uncomfortable. But then, clarity emerges in the pause. Science: pausing activates the prefrontal cortex, allowing rational decisions instead of impulsive reactions. Example: a parent pauses before scolding a child, choosing empathy over anger. Notebook journaling. Emotional triggers. Writing is a mirror for emotions. Practice: each evening, write about moments that triggered strong feelings. Label the emotion and reflect on your response. Suspense element: the thrill lies in uncovering hidden patterns, realizing that the same triggers appear repeatedly. Science: journaling increases self-awareness and reduces emotional intensity. Case study: a student discovered that most of his anger came from feeling unheard. Journaling helped him communicate calmly instead of lashing out. Ear active listening. EQ thrives in relationships. Listening deeply is a cornerstone. Practice: when someone speaks, focus fully. Don't interrupt, don't plan your reply, just listen. Suspense element: the thrill lies in noticing emotions behind words, tone, pauses, expressions. Science: Active listening increases empathy and strengthens bonds. Example, a manager practicing active listening transformed workplace conflicts into collaborative solutions. Brain naming emotions. Labeling emotions reduces their power. Practice, when you feel overwhelmed, say, I am anxious, or I am excited. Suspense element, the thrill lies in realizing that naming emotions separates you from them. You are not the emotion, you are the observer. Science, studies show naming emotions reduces amygdala activity, calming the brain. Love letter empathy exercises. Empathy is the heart of EQ. Practice, imagine yourself in another person's situation. Ask, how would I feel if I were them? Suspense element, the thrill lies in discovering hidden layers of human experience. Science, empathy activates mirror neurons, strengthening social bonds. Case example, a teacher practiced empathy with struggling students, turning frustration into support. Globe with Meridian's gratitude integration. Gratitude fuels emotional intelligence. Practice, thank people for small acts. Appreciate daily blessings. Suspense element, the thrill lies in realizing gratitude shifts focus from problems to possibilities. Science, gratitude increases serotonin and dopamine, improving emotional regulation. Open book real life story. Bilal, a young professional, struggled with workplace stress. By practicing pauses, journaling, and empathy, he noticed his relationships improve and his stress decrease. The suspense was in realizing that small daily practices created massive transformation. Crystal ball lifelong impact. Daily EQ practices are not quick fixes. They are seeds planted in the mind. With consistency, they grow into resilience, empathy, and wisdom. The thrill lies in discovering that emotional mastery is built one small step at a time. As daily practices of pausing, journaling, and empathy become consistent, something extraordinary begins to happen. Emotions that once felt overwhelming start to lose their grip. Reduced anxiety and stress. People with higher EQ report lower cortisol levels, meaning they stay calmer under pressure. Emotional regulation, instead of reacting impulsively, you begin to respond thoughtfully. Resilience, setbacks no longer feel like failures, they become lessons. Suspense element, imagine standing in the middle of chaos, deadlines, arguments, noise, yet feeling calm, as if time itself slowed down. That's the thrill of transformation EQ brings. Briefcase practical impact in daily life. EQ doesn't remain confined to personal reflection, it spills into every aspect of life. Workplace, teams led by emotionally intelligent managers report higher productivity and fewer conflicts. Relationships, couples who practice EQ communicate better and resolve conflicts faster. Health, emotional regulation improves sleep, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens immunity. Research insight, a Yale study found that classrooms with EQ-focused programs had 20% fewer behavioral issues and higher academic performance. Performing arts suspense element, the hidden shift. At first, EQ feels like effort, pausing, journaling, listening. But then, subtle changes appear. You pause naturally before reacting. You notice emotions in others without being told. You feel connected to the present moment. The thrill lies in realizing that transformation is happening quietly, beneath the surface, like roots growing deep before a tree blossoms. Globe with Meridian social ripple effect. Emotional intelligence doesn't just change individuals, it changes communities. Schools, EQ programs reduce bullying and improve focus. Hospitals, doctors with high EQ build stronger patient trust. Workplaces, teams with EQ culture innovate more and burn out less. Suspense builds when you realize EQ could be the hidden key to a more compassionate society. Open book case example. Consider Hamza, a corporate manager. His team faced constant deadlines and conflicts. By practicing empathy and gratitude, he noticed morale improve, meetings became calmer, and conflicts resolved faster. The thrill was not just his transformation, but the ripple effect on everyone around him. Crystal ball long-term transformation. EQ doesn't just change moods, it changes identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who notices emotions, responds with clarity, and inspires others. Identity shift, you no longer define yourself by stress or anger. Leadership growth, you lead with empathy and resilience. Community impact, your emotional intelligence sparks transformation in those around you. Suspense lies in realizing that EQ is contagious, your practice inspires others to grow emotionally. Glowing star, the emotional intelligence paradox. Here's the paradox, EQ doesn't erase problems. Deadlines, conflicts, and crises will still exist. The suspense lies in realizing that EQ changes how you experience those problems. Stressful events lose their power, and peace becomes your default state. Open book real life story. Aisha, a nurse, faced exhausting shifts. By practicing EQ, pausing before reacting, journaling emotions, and empathizing with patients, she noticed reduced burnout and deeper patient trust. The thrill was not just her resilience, but the healing environment she created for others. Globe with Meridian's future of EQ. Technology is now part of EQ transformation. Apps, guided journaling makes EQ practice accessible. Virtual retreats, online communities support global EQ growth. AI tools, personalized EQ journeys track progress. Suspense lies in imagining a future where EQ is as common as exercise, a global movement toward emotional wellness. Glowing Star Lifelong Journey. Emotional intelligence mastery is not about escaping emotions. It's about living fully, with awareness, compassion, and resilience. The ultimate suspense lies in discovering that peace was never outside you, it was hidden within, waiting to be uncovered. Advanced practices for EQ mastery. Once the basics of pausing, journaling, and empathy become natural, emotional intelligence can be taken to deeper levels. Mindful reflection, spend 10 minutes daily reviewing emotional responses. Ask, did I react or respond? Perspective shifting, consciously view situations from multiple angles. Suspense lies in realizing how differently events appear when seen through another's eyes. Silent observation, practice observing emotions without judgment. Like clouds passing in the sky, feelings come and go. Compassion training, extend empathy beyond loved ones, to strangers, colleagues, even those you disagree with. Case example, a leader practicing perspective shifting discovered that conflicts with employees weren't about defiance but about fear. This insight transformed his leadership style. Brain long-term benefits. Emotional intelligence mastery reshapes identity, health, and relationships. Resilience, stressful events no longer break you, they become opportunities for growth. Health, EQ lowers blood pressure, strengthens immunity, and improves sleep quality. Relationships, long-term EQ deepens trust, intimacy, and cooperation. Leadership, leaders with high EQ inspire loyalty and innovation. Research insight, a study at Stanford University found that executives with high EQ achieved 20% higher team performance compared to those relying solely on IQ. Performing arts suspense element, the ultimate twist. Here's the twist, EQ doesn't erase challenges. Deadlines, conflicts, and crises will still exist. The suspense lies in realizing that EQ changes how you experience those challenges. Stressful events lose their power, and peace becomes your default state. Globe with Meridian's EQ as a lifestyle. Mastery means emotional intelligence is no longer a practice you do, it becomes who you are. At work, you lead with clarity and empathy. At home, you listen deeply, creating stronger bonds. In society, you contribute to a calmer, more compassionate world. Suspense builds when you realize EQ could be the hidden key to transforming not just individuals, but entire communities. Open book case example. Fatima, a doctor, faced constant emergencies. By integrating EQ into her daily routine, mindful breathing before surgeries, empathy with patients, gratitude notes for colleagues, she noticed reduced burnout and deeper patient trust. The thrill was not just her resilience, but the ripple effect on her hospital environment. Crystal ball future of emotional intelligence. Technology is now part of EQ mastery. Apps, guided journaling and mindfulness tools make EQ practice accessible. Virtual retreats, online communities support global EQ growth. AI tools, personalized EQ journeys track progress and provide feedback. Suspense lies in imagining a future where EQ is as common as physical exercise, a global movement toward emotional wellness. Glowing Star Lifelong Journey. Emotional intelligence mastery is not about escaping emotions. It's about living fully, with awareness, compassion, and resilience. The ultimate suspense lies in discovering that peace was never outside you, it was hidden within, waiting to be uncovered. With advanced practices, long-term benefits, and lifestyle integration, EQ becomes a lifelong journey. Stress will always exist, but with mastery, you can always find calm in chaos.